Hello and welcome to Hang with Willie. This is episode number 3, and today I'm going to be talking about the bridge of Georgia on My Mind and how to do locked hand style. So I am your host, Willie Mayette, creator of Hang with Willie and PianoWithWillie.com. If you'd like to get past episodes, just go back to hangwithwillie.com. You can sign up and get all of these live webinars and also check out my podcast as well. All absolutely free for you to check out. If you are a member of the site of Piano with Willie, then you get access to any of the sheet music that I show. Like the sheet music that I'm going to be working on today will be available to members later on today in the courses area under Hang with Willie. If you are not a member of the site, then unfortunately you cannot download the sheet music, but you can always sign up for a membership and take advantage of the 4,000 plus lessons at Piano with Willie, and also the Coaching with Willie, in which we do one-on-one coaching. All right, so anyway, let's get started with this Georgia on My Mind. Okay, so my student Lloyd sent me something a few months back about George Shearing locked hand style, and George Shearing does this real nice locked hand approach, and I'll explain what that is in a second. And I didn't have an opportunity to do a whole lesson, but I wanted to take this section of the bridge of Georgia and do it in a locked hand style. Why a section? Well, typically locked hand stuff, let me define what locked hand is first of all. Locked hand is typically where you'll have like the melody, like let me do the melody here. So you see how I'm doing this? I'm doing this section right in here, and it's all chordal, and it's locked hand, meaning kind of like my hands are locked together. So you see how close I am, right? So that is your locked hand style. It's usually 4, 5, 6 notes really close together that you're playing between two hands, and it gets that nice, real close chordal sound. Kind of like the same thing you'll hear in big band music with the sax section when they're doing that 4-part harmony. So really cool sounds. Check out George Shearing, and that's with a S-H-E-A-R-I-N-G. So the reason I'm doing a section of music is because typically locked hand, you don't do an entire song in a locked hand style. Typically. A lot of times there'll be sections, and then you kind of might branch out. And you should look at locked hand, or at least I look at locked hand, more as a technique. Meaning that it's something that I will utilize in my playing, but I'm not going to play an entire song using the locked hand approach. Now, typically locked hand, it works well when you have kind of like this scalar kind of stuff. Now, this isn't quite scalar, but it's pretty darn close. And it all revolves off of that major bebop scale, and I have lessons on that in the site. This is where you want to take a look at the diminished harmony lesson, and I also have a lesson on Georgia on My Mind as well. Those 2 lessons are available at PianoWithWillie.com. But basically, the diminished harmony is where you can go through and alternate between a C6 chord and a diminished chord. Right? And I'm not going to go through all of that right now because I don't have enough time right now. But, whoops, I'm here playing all this stuff. So let me undo all of that. So, yikes. Yeah, so anyway, I don't have time to go through all of that right now. But like I said, there is that lesson on diminished harmony in the site, okay? So basically I just alternate between that 6th chord and then the diminished chord, and it gets a real cool sound. I add in a real nice sound now, okay? Now I can do things like drop 2s. Okay? All right. So now, let me show you my approach here for Georgia on My Mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to voice down from this melody note, okay? So my melody note here is D. So what I'm going to do is, I know that's my melody note. So basically, my pinky is going to be playing the melody, and I'm going to be voicing down from that pinky. Now, typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing just basic block chords. So I could do a D minor 6 chord here, or I could do a D minor 7. Now, personally, I like the D minor 7, but the D minor 6 sound, it's kind of cool as well. Right? So you could decide which one you want. In fact, I'll do D minor 6, right? Just to make it a little bit different. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this chord, this note rather, and I'm voicing down my D minor 6. So remember, the notes of my D minor 6 chord are. So all I'm doing is I'm just doing an inversion. So I take this top note and I'm like, all right, well, what other notes of that D minor 6 chord do I need? That's what I need. Okay? And now when I move up to the next note, I can still do that same D minor 6, or I can do D minor 6, or I can even do D minor 7. At this point, since I chose D minor 6 over here, I'm going to do D minor 6 over here as well. All right? So how do I know if I'm going to do a D minor 6 or if I'm going to do a diminished chord? Well, one easy way is if I have any of the notes of the D minor 6 chord, I'm going to voice that chord as a minor 6 chord. If it's some other notes, right, then I'm going to voice that as a diminished chord, and you'll see that in a second. So the first one is that D minor 6. Next one here, this is D minor 7. I'm playing right here on this F. But I can also do the D minor 6. So since I did the first one as minor 6, I'm going to keep that one as minor 6. This one, the G, is outside of that D minor 6, so I'm going to play a diminished chord there. Let's do that. Make it a little easier. Really. And then here, I'm going to voice this one as a D minor 6 as well. And then the next one, minor 6. Minor 6, okay? So now, that gives me so already I have D minor 6 chord here, D minor 6 chord, diminished chord, D minor 6, D minor 6, D minor 6. And right here on this chord, I'm just going to put that little diminished symbol there, just so you'll know that that's the diminished chord. Okay? Now, in the left hand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the same melody note. So this top note here is going to be duplicated down here. So now I'll do that. So now I get this sound. Oops. Oops, let me do that again. Yeah. There we go. All right, so. And now here on the B flat 7 to A7, I'm actually going to change this. I'm not even going to do a B flat 7. I'm going to do a, let's see, do I want to do that? Yeah, I like the E7 sound, or, yeah, I guess I'll do the B flat 7, why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this as a quarter note, and then this is going to tie over. Okay, so I get, actually I can do the third on there. Oops. Okay, so now my whole phrase here is, sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Right? And again, it's all that D minor 6 chord, D minor 6. All right, let's move on here. Let's do it on the next section here. Oops. Oh, actually, I can do that, can't I? Move this over. So this is going to be the same exact thing as this. So I can just take that, copy that, and paste that right there. Okay? And then I have this section. Let's do this. Do that. Oops. And put that together. Okay, so now I have. Now here I'm going to move to D minor 7. So again, I have my note from my D minor 7 chord, so I'm going to just voice down from my D minor 7, voice down from my D minor 7 again. Left hand, left hand is going to be, so again, as my D minor 7, I'm just playing my melody note right down below. So I'll go to my G7 here. In fact, this is a G6. I can do the G7. The G6 kind of has a nice sound to it as well, doesn't it? But I'm going to make that a chord note, because then I'm going to go to an E flat 7. I'll explain why in just a second. I want that. So, yeah. In fact, I can do this. Kind of hold over that top note. And what I'm doing here is, this is a E flat 7, okay, sharp 5. And then now I move on. And now why did I go to E flat 7 sharp 5? Because that's my tritone. It leads me right down to my D7, okay? E flat, right? Tritone of A7. Okay, so E flat leads me down to D minor. All right, so now here, so all right, that's kind of cool. All right, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep this C sharp. So this basically means that C sharp is in the bass. And by the way, these chords I got from an old fake book. So I just want to show you what you'll actually see in fake books. So now on the left hand here, and now check this out. What I like about this is that contrary motion. Sorry, this thing keeps moving around. I mean, let's see if I can fix this a little bit. Keep moving around so much. Okay. So from right here, what I like about this is, sorry. Yeah. See that contrary motion? This note's moving down, this note's moving up. All right. And then, so this goes back to D minor 7. This is D minor 7 over C. So I can put that in over C. All right. And I have it over there as well. That's fine though, because I'm going to, let's see how I can fix that. Let's do this. Put these both in the same line. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so now we have show. And this is real time. I'm just going to do this in real time here. This isn't, okay, so now, see, I want some motion here. So I like the C, but now I got this over C again here again. So where can I go? So that's what I'm looking for right now. Okay, I think I got an idea. Nope, that ain't gonna work. That could work. Okay, so. All right, I like the idea of getting maybe an F7 on this chord, on this note right here. So I'm thinking maybe if I could throw the F7 in here, but I'm not really feeling that. I like the B minor 7 flat 5 to the E7 altered. Okay, so sometimes I like doing this as well. Just get those chords first. So okay, that'll work. There's my. Let's get that together. So you see how like sometimes I'll work backwards as well. Okay, so I know I'm getting to that. So now I have so I like that. That F7 sound on there. So yeah, that's interesting now. Okay, so let's make sure that works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for the F7. Okay. So this is going to be an F7. It's really just, I'm just going to put as F7 as a 13th in there, but I don't have to write that in. All right. So here, I'm thinking I could probably get away with doing a G flat 7. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so now I have. That's kind of interesting. The only thing I don't like is going from the C down to the G flat like that. Okay, so I want to try one more thing here. That's kind of cool. So kind of do this D minor with B in the bass. Then we go to that B minor 7 flat 5. So I'm like not really into that. So for right now I'm gonna keep the G flat 7 in there because that will work well enough for now. Now this is what happens. Sometimes I'll play something and then I'll come back to it. G flat 7. That's a sharp 11. Sometimes I'll do something like that and then come back to it later. I kind of like it's kind of growing on me there. I like that sound. Okay. But now sometimes, hopefully what you're seeing here is my process and like, okay, I'll kind of start at the back end first and then come back and then kind of fill in and try and figure out, okay, I'm just trying to get that one chord right here. Well, let me do this. But you know what? I might decide, oh, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, throw in a C minor 7 there instead. Let's see. That's kind of cool as well. Do a C minor 7 there. It's kind of a neat sound. All right, and let's just finish this out. And then we have. So now here, this is where we can start getting away from the locked hand style. So I can still do kind of locked hand here, but do that as a half note. Actually, no, I can still do that. So let's do quarter note there. Let's get this in the way. So it's going to be an E flat 7. That's 7 sharp 11. I love those sharp 11 chords. Oops. Let's do it actually. Sometimes like these plain old 7th chords kind of sound good. They kind of have like a dated sound to them. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Actually, I'm curious if this works. You can actually get away with that too. I'm going to show you how to do this. So all I'm doing here is I'm making this D7, and then this is D7 flat 9. Okay. Get the left hand here. Okay, and then this would be G minor 7. That'll work. Okay, so look what I'm doing here. I'm putting in that tritone substitution, going into D7, and then all I do is I just change the one note here to the flatted 9th. Okay, so this is just becoming that flat 9, that E flat. So it goes from E natural to E flat. I still played all of the notes of the chord again. Okay, so. And then let's do this. Get rid of that. So, all right, so now let's do the entire thing. Let's see if I can fit all this on the screen so I could see it. Oh my goodness, it's pretty small. It's mighty small. But let's see if I can see, see it enough. Okay, I'm gonna give this a go. All right, so we have wow. Sorry. There we go. So you got a real nice sound there. Now we could also add in drop 2s and stuff. I'm not going to do that right now, but you could do that. Okay. All right, so anyway, you get the point there where I'm going with this. So this locked hand style is really, really cool. So if you're interested in this style, check out that diminished harmony lesson at Piano with Willie. Like I said, I also have the whole Georgia on My Mind lesson. That was an older lesson I did. It's actually like 4 hours long. I really go into a lot of detail on that lesson to really show you how to break it down. Right, so that lesson is available on the site as well. So anyway, that's it for this week's Hangout. Join me next week, every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, if you have not already done so, go back to Hang with Willie and sign up for, to get past episodes. I also wanted to show you this one thing. So this was pulled right out of that old fake book. So you can see I tell a lot of students, see how sometimes you just see alt like that? And that's a half diminished, that little circle with the line through it like that. That's a half diminished. That's B minor 7 flat 5. I prefer saying B minor 7 flat 5 rather than B circle with a line through it. But you see that E7 alt, all right? So you will see that in arrangements. All right, so anyway, that's it for this week's Hangout. I will see you guys next week.